After 3 days of visiting historical war memorials and spending time with fellow servicemen, the 44th Honor Flight has touched down back here in Bakersfield. 23 ABC's Vonnie Patino was the only news reporter on the trip and brings us a recap of day 3 of the war of their veterans in Washington, D.C.
Well, it's the final stop of this honor flight here at Fort McHenry, which inspired the Star-Spangled Banner. But despite visiting all these amazing historical locations, many of the vets tell me it's the people they've met along the way that give them hope.
We have probably encountered 500 or 600 kids, and they stand to the side and they clap and they wave at you and they shake your hand. It is just amazing.
Thank you very much.
At the Marine Corps War Memorial, the first stop of the day, the line of people greeting this honor flight wrapped around the entire memorial. One by one, each group passing by, whether tourists or students on field trips, decided to join. Many cried, including 2 boys that touched one vet's heart.
We're probably 8 and 10 or something like that, just so sweet. And they had tears coming down their face.
She stopped to ask if they were okay, and the boys shared they had relatives who fought in wars. Tarpley saying it was nice to see the history being passed on to the younger generation. Before this trip, Barbara Tarpley says she did not feel like a hero as she did not serve in combat, which is why she initially did not want to go on the flight. But this trip has changed that perspective, and she hopes other vets sign up for future flights. Like Tarpley, many of these vets had been putting it off for one reason or another.
Wish I'd have done it sooner, but with this group, they're the best.
This group now forever bonded as the 44th Kern County Honor Flight. And although we boarded the plane to head home, the trip was not over yet. The tears continued as vets read letters sent to them from family members.
This is from my son. Back when we're on board ship, it took a long time to get mail. So when you finally get it, then it's just the same way, you know, from family members. And so you had a whole day of just enjoying this reading.
He says his grandson wrote to him about his time in the service, something they never really talk about. And as vets finished reading their letters, those killed in action were honored. A moment of silence as everyone thanked those who made the greatest sacrifice. In Bakersfield, Vonnie Patino, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
And immediately after touching down here in Bakersfield, the veterans and guardians who went on the trip made their way to the North High School gymnasium, where members of the community celebrated their return back home with a rally.
To say that Bakersfield is a red, white, and blue city would be an understatement. I mean, I had goosebumps, and it gives me hope for our country, that patriotism and love of country is not lost, and especially see the number of young people that have turned out to honor us. And as veterans, we have an obligation to teach our children and our grandchildren what it means to serve.
School officials described the event as, quote, a terrific living history lesson for everyone, end quote.